Right, what's up guys, JJ Richards here. Welcome back to my channel. Please, before we get going with the video, please give the video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, smash that subscribe button. We've got lots of good content coming your way over the next few weeks. So quick prep update for you all then. So I'm about just over 9 weeks out at the moment. So it is Thursday today, so on Sunday we'll be 9 weeks out. So I imagine by the time we get this video out, it will be exactly 9 weeks until show day. So from my last video, if you've watched it and you've been following the prep so far, only real changes is that cardio is now 6 days a week. So that's changed from today. And I'm only doing 30 minutes in the morning, so not too difficult with the cardio. And the main diet change for me is on a rest day, pretty much 50 gram of carb, and also the steak meals come out as well, and that's been swapped for chicken, so a little bit less in regards to fats and carbs on rest days. But the food on training days is still pretty good, and I'm doing 2 days on, 1 day off, so I'm getting a good balance and plenty of rest in regards to my food and also my training. So today's video, what I want to show you guys is some meal prep. So many people just say they don't have a time for meal prep or lots of excuses not to do it. And for me, it's definitely the most important thing to get right and make sure that you prioritize it. Because for me, I've always said that training's easy. I love going in the gym, love lifting heavy weights. It is the best stress relief ever. But where most people fall short is the meal prep. So I thought I'd go through my current diet plan with you. It was a rest day today, so I'm on 2 training days, so I'm going to try and get my food prepped ready for the next couple of days. I'm working a long day tomorrow, so I'm pretty much going to prep all my meals now, and Saturday I'm off, so I will cook some of those meals fresh. But I like to try and cook my protein in bulk, because when you're eating kind of 6-7 meals a day, if you're cooking fresh constantly, you're forever in the kitchen. So I'll show you guys a few tips how I do my meal prep. So I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you find it useful, and let's get on with some cooking. Right, so first thing we're going to start off with then is getting the chicken cooked. So at the moment I'm only having 1 chicken meal on my training days. So I have 200 grams of cooked chicken, which pretty much equates out to 3 chicken breasts. So I'm going to cut these up, cut the fat up, and then I'm going to show you what I've been doing recently to cook the chicken. Right, so what I've recently been doing with the chicken is, obviously I cut all the fat off as you've seen, and then I season it, and then what I do is I wrap it up in tin foil. So I make a little parcel that kind of looks like this, and then what I do is I'll stick it in the Tefal Active Fryer, which I'll show you in a second, 18 minutes, and it is perfect. And also it means that you do not have to do any washing up whatsoever, because once it's done, take the chicken out, throw the tin foil in the bin, and your chicken is done. Seasonings at the moment, so as you can see, it's kind of like a spicy, herby mixture. So Lucy recently went to Israel, and she went to Tel Aviv, and she said to the guy in the market, what is your best chicken recipe? He kind of asked what flavors I liked. I was actually speaking to him through FaceTime, which was quite cool. So he made me a few of these spices, and I've been using them for about a month now. I kind of mix the 2 together, and it is really, really nice. So I'm going to show you now what the Tefal Active Fryer is and how easy it is to cook and prep chicken. Right, so there you go. So basically 3 chicken breasts in there. Now try and wrap this nice and tight as well, because as it's cooking, the steam actually cooks the chicken through. I don't put any oil or mix anything in with it, because the air fryer kind of cooks it without it. And again, because it's sealed, it gets really hot, and the kind of steam and also the juices from the chicken actually helps cook it, and it keeps it nice and moist as well. Right, so we're going to move on now to getting the fish ready. So at the same time as the chicken's cooked, I'm going to get the fish in the oven. So I need to preheat the oven first, that would be helpful. So what I'm going to be doing is I have a salmon meal every day. So I've got this, which is basically a half side of salmon. So it's about 470 grams. So by the time it's cooked and I cook the skin off, it's like 200 grams, which is what I have per meal. So I will have one of those salmon meals for today, and I'll also have one of those meals for tomorrow because I'm working. And then also for my white fish, so again on the training day, I have 1 white fish meal every day. So what I've been doing is getting these Bassa fillets from Lidl, and these ones are actually really good because I bought white fish and the frozen stuff from every different supermarket you can buy, and it always shrivels up very small. But this stuff, you'll see when it goes in and when it goes out, it holds the exact same size and shape, which is great. So I definitely recommend that one. Taste is okay, it's not great, but as nice as whitefish can be, a little bit of seasoning and you're all right. So there is all the fish ready to go in the oven once that's preheated. So we're going to now move on to showing you the carbs. Right, so first carb source I'm going to show you how I cook is rice. So I'm one of these old school people that actually cooks rice properly, because the amount of rice that I eat, like if I was to buy that packeted Uncle Ben stuff, it would cost me an absolute fortune. And also I just don't like it. It tastes really weird. And if you've ever actually left that rice in a bowl uncooked for a couple of days, it goes moldy. It's got like some weird like preservative crap around the outside, which I'm not too keen on. So nice fresh rice, and also it will save you a shed ton of money, because you can literally buy a big 5 kilo bag for a few quid. And what I do is I just keep topping this up every couple of days when it's empty, and it makes it very easy to manage. Right, so I've just poured the rice into the pan. So I've got 440 grams because I basically have 220 grams per day. So I'll cook my rice for 2 days, again just so I'm not prepping every day, and just to try and make my food taste a little bit nicer, as well as the chicken spices I also got some of this rice seasoning as well. And so I pop a little bit of this in whilst it's cooking. It just turns quite a bland flavour into something that is really nice. I always find if you make your meals taste good, it'll make you want to eat them. I'm not quite at that prep stage yet where I'm really hungry, and the food's quite high still on the training day. So it's quite important that I enjoy what I eat, otherwise you're just going to dread every single meal. Especially in the off season, making your meals taste nice is so important. When it comes to pre-contest and when I'm about kind of 6 weeks out, literally I'll bloody eat anything because I'll be so hungry. Right, so I'm going to teach you guys the art of making the perfect rice. I don't really have an exact measurement for rice to water, because I've been doing this shit for so long, I can just eyeball it and get it perfect every time. So I normally make sure that the water is sitting a few centimeters above the rice, but again, it depends on how much rice you're actually cooking to how much water you need. So I'm only cooking enough for the day, I only need a little bit more water, but because there's quite a bit of rice in there, I always probably make sure there's about 3 or 4 centimeters of water above the rice. So what you start off by doing is turning the heat all the way up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the rice and the water starts bubbling, and I'll then show you the next stage. There you go. So once all of the water is boiling, and as you can see it's bubbling, then what you need to do is turn the heat down as low as it can go. And then what I tend to do is just half pop the lid in, otherwise you'll tend to find that it'll sometimes bubble over if you're cooking large amounts. And then you want to leave that for usually about 7 to 8 minutes until all the water's gone, and then I'll show you what you do after that. So what I do with the rice is I just separate it, and if I can't see any more water left in the pan, I put the lid all the way on, turn the heat off, and then what will happen is the steam will continue to cook the rice in the pan. Leave it for 10 minutes and it'll be perfect. Right, so I've just checked up on the rice now, so it's probably been steaming through for about 10 minutes, and as you can see, it's all kind of mixed in with those flavors from the spices, and that is cooked to absolute perfection. So I hope that was probably the best tip of this whole video, as to how to cook the perfect rice, and also it might save you a few quid if you're buying that shitty Uncle Ben's or that horrible microwave packeted crap. Right, so the chicken is done. So let me see if I can show you guys this one-handed. So I'm just going to pull it out here. Oh, it's hot. Ah. So you can see when you open it all the steam that comes out and all the juices, that's what it's been cooking in. And then if you cut it in half, like so, just check to make sure it's white throughout, no pink in the middle. That to me looks perfect. Right, so that is the chicken and fish meals done. So I don't season the fish before I cook it, but once it's cooked, I like this Jamie Oliver. It's thyme, lemon bay and sea salt, and it is really, really nice on white fish. Right, so the last meal I'm going to go through with you guys today is my breakfast. So I've been doing this for about 3 weeks now, and I actually quite like the taste of the oats. It tastes a lot better than when I cook them. So it's kind of like that overnight oats way of doing it. And this is probably one of the biggest problems that people have when trying to stick to a meal plan, or if they're on some kind of weight loss diet or anything, is they always say that they don't have time for breakfast. And I'm going to try and prove to you right now that that excuse is absolute bullshit. So I'm literally going to make this in probably 2 minutes, and in the morning you can grab it, but eat it in your car, in traffic, or just anything. But just don't miss breakfast, because it's such an easy, simple meal to make, and I'll show you guys now and hopefully you'll agree. I'm just trying to get a camera angle where I can tactfully just put my bodybuilding trophies in the corner just to give myself a little bit of credit. Right, so this breakfast literally is 4 ingredients. So porridge oats, protein, blueberries and cinnamon. So I'm going to show you how to make it now, and it tastes banging. Right, so first ingredient then is, at the moment I am having 80 grams of oats. So I've kind of gone for these giant rolled oats just because I find that when you're not cooking them, I find that these ones absorb the water a little bit better, and it makes them a little bit bigger. So I do prefer, when I'm doing the overnight oats, to have the giant rolled oats. I think they just taste much better. Right, so for the muscle building then, I basically go for 50 grams of whey protein, so it's nice and easy. So it's 2 scoops of the ISO 100 hydrolyzed whey by Dymatize. Definitely one of the best proteins on the market at the moment. This is the gourmet chocolate one. So I'm going to get 2 scoops of this, add it into the oats. That's 25 grams. And that is 50 grams. So mix that in with the oats. So I've just added in a bit of water, so you almost want to fill it up just to like level with the oats. I find that sometimes less water is better than more, because the first time I did this I absolutely fucked it up. And to be fair, this is probably a little bit too much water, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue because it will go down when it absorbs into the oats throughout the night. So once that's mixed in like so, I then add in some cinnamon. So I really like this ground sweet cinnamon. You get it from Tesco's. Just tastes a lot better than the original one. So I literally add in about a tablespoon of cinnamon, and then we mix that in with the protein and the oats. I'm going to add in 150 grams of blueberries. Then I'm going to mix that all together. I know it looks like crap, but it actually tastes nice. And because the blueberry is slightly defrosted, there's way too much water in there as well, but I really don't care. I'll just drink it. And then put the lid on there, stick it in the fridge. They'll probably be in there for about 14 hours, so plenty of time for them to absorb all of the fluid into the oats and try and expand the oats a little bit, and then that will be banging in the morning. Right, so that is meal prep done. So for tomorrow I've got meal number 1, which is what I'll have after my cardio in the morning. Then meal number 2, which again, 200 grams of fish, 120 grams of rice. Meal 3 is going to be 200 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice. Then I train, I have my intra-workout drink. Post-workout, I've got the 300 grams of potato and the 200 grams of salmon. Then what I'll do is then when I get home a little bit later, the next meal, which I'll cook fresh, will just be steak with some vegetables. Then our last meal before bed is a protein shake with some nut butter. So that's kind of my daily diet at the moment, and I just hope that video kind of showed you guys actually how easy it is to meal prep. Like, it was more probably time consuming because I was trying to get the camera and record it at the same time as cooking. But if I'm just head down cooking, I normally just put a podcast on, and that'll literally take me 45 minutes, and 20 minutes of that is just sat there waiting for the chicken and the salmon and fish to cook. So it's actually really easy. So I hope you guys kind of learn from that, and you can kind of see that meal prep shouldn't be difficult. You can do it very quickly, very efficiently, and also make your food taste pretty decent as well. I always find that organization is key. Like they always told me in the military, the 7 P's, prior, planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. Boom. So give the video a thumbs up, guys. Please don't forget, again, subscribe. If you've got any questions, drop them down below. I'll always respond. 9 weeks. Peace.